Welcome to Discover HPA for admitted students. And I know we have maybe some students that are in the process to get accepted and get their decision. So congratulations for everyone and welcome to our Ohana. We're very excited you're here. You made it. So first of all, before we start, let's go over through some of the Zoom, guidelines. So make sure that you mute yourself unless you have a question, and let's try to leave all the questions for the end. Try to use the chat to write any questions you have, or you can also unmute yourself and ask the questions at the end. And then try to enjoy our session. We're really excited you're here. So moving forward, I wanted to show you our amazing admissions team that we have here. We have a message from them and we want to personally say, welcome to our Ohana. You made it, you're here. My name is Maria. As you know, I send you all the emails and everything. I work with all international students at HPA, and Hawaii Prep has an admissions office that is based in Madrid, Spain, in Europe. And I work with all the students from here. But I do travel to Hawaii a lot, so you will happen to see me on campus as well. And I'm always here to help you and help you with the admissions process and answer any questions you have. And then here I have our admissions team that they're amazing. They're all based in Hawaii. I'm actually the only person that is out of Hawaii. We have Wei Jun, that is our office manager. She helps you with all the steps on the application and everything you need. She's there. We have Tiara Police. She's our director of admissions. Then Janet Melton. She works with all boarding students from the US and most of the students from Asia. And then we have Jackie Jefferson that works with all day students from pre-K to 12th grade. So welcome all from us. I know some people are still joining us, so welcome all of us. And then we're really excited for you to come to HPA. We're waiting for you in our beautiful campus. We hope you can arrive soon. We want to see you there. And before we start today, I want to tell you that you're going to hear from our HPA alumni and parents. I want you to hear from them, their experience at HPA, and their perspective. But before we start, let's watch this quick video. Hope everyone can hear okay. If you cannot hear, let me know.
And about CO2 that I could really take.
HPA hands you so many opportunities. They are giving you every single possibility to do anything you want. Any sport you could think of, you can do here. Any instrument, artistic piece, if you want to do theater, if you want to do drawing, go out and travel, if you want to shop and go to farmers markets and things like that, you can do that here. That is what HPA was built for.
Everyone has a passion, whether that be take pictures, make movies, make music. If you just stop someone in the hallway and say, what do you want to do in life? Everyone at HPA can answer that.
I found that it was really, really fantastic that what I just learned in the physics classroom about ambient noise and about CO2, that I could really take my knowledge and then use it to make studies, and then it was actually used to improve other people's lives.
Here at HPA, there are 26 different countries represented, and that's a pretty amazing experience. For example, I'm very interested in languages, and I can talk to Ricardo about Italian, I can talk to Kate about Hungarian, and I get to learn all about the cultures that they come from, the different experiences that they have.
By going to HPA, I've been able to apply my passion in a way that would be relevant to school, or not even to school, but just to the community, and doing things that I love, but also having it be worthwhile.
There was no other high school where I could go scuba diving, where I could actually do sea turtle research program and turtle tagging, where I could start my independent project, or where I could actually feel like I made a change.
Honestly, I love it here because I can be weird. I can be myself. I can do what I want to do. I'm wearing a shirt right now. It looks like a composition notebook, but I feel completely comfortable in this environment. Like, people will accept me.
Well, thank you. Now we're gonna move forward and introduce our amazing parents and alumni. So we have, as you can see, amazing panelists today from everywhere around the world. So we'll be traveling through different places. We have two parents here on the call. We have Jarek and Hannah Duba and Patricia Menner. Jarek and Hannah are coming from Czech Republic and Patricia from Germany. And then we have three alumni that graduated at HPA. We have Marta from Spain, then Rana that is from London and Central Pass, and then Ilan that is an alumni from Miami, United States. So we're gonna start, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and we're gonna start with the parents. So I wanna introduce you first to Jarek and Hannah. You can tell a little bit about your experience.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jana, and this is my husband, Jarek. And we are so lucky that both our children are at HPA. We have daughter, she is a senior, and our son, Lucas, is a freshman. And we are lucky that they are on a such stable and unique place, especially during those difficult times. Due to COVID-19. And when I say unique, I mean unique in all of its meaning, from genuine HPA faculty staff, content and style of education, values, strong and deep relationships, care and respect to each other. People have a great attitude to each other, open-minded approach, and we are really grateful that our children are treated and raised by HPA people who are like their second family.
Yeah, I will introduce our children. They couldn't be here, but they are now on a triathlon race, which was organized for them by the school, and this is one of examples how the faculty staff and all the staff on HPA take care of children. Because our son Luca, he is a triathlete. And due to COVID, almost all races were cancelled. But one of the teachers, who is a marathon runner and triathlete as well, organized just for 3 of them this race. So we are looking forward if he will win or what will be the situation. But definitely they will have a fun, and it's more important. He is a little bit worried about swimming in the ocean due to sharks, because they are present everywhere, and especially on the place where the race is going, it's like Koloa, they are present very often. So we hope that he will survive. Luca joined HPA this school year in August, and the reason was that due to COVID, all the schools were closed. Not only in Czech Republic, but worldwide. And when we were able to compare online learning from HPA, because Johanna came back home also, compared how she had lectures and courses from Czech Republic to Hawaii, what was the quality, and talking and working with the teachers, comparing with Luca, who had the school 10 kilometers from home. We offered him if he wanna consider to go there. It was difficult for us because in the age of 14, you will send your child to the middle of Pacific. It was a crazy idea, but he took his time and said, "Okay, I wanna go." And we were extremely surprised how quickly he adapted in the place, and it was mostly due to understanding, help, and support of people, of dorm parents, of teachers, What I like on HPA is that teachers are not only teachers, not professors in the classes, but they have other duties like driving the bus, taking kids to the beach or some trips, have duties like a dorm parents, so they can know the children better, not only from 80 minutes in the class, but generally more. What is important. So he's happy now. He is able to wash his dress and everything. Take care of him. All the services which were done at home by us, he is doing on his own. It's perfect. So Johanna joined HPA in January 2020, in the mid of junior year. And the reason why we chosen HPA was that she is passionate for ocean and she wanted to study marine biology. And as the school system in Czech Republic and US is completely different, we offered her a possibility to go to finish high school in US. And we have few schools pre-selected, and finally we made a decision for HPA. Yeah. And I must say that it was the best decision ever, because from the first contact with Maria and other people from the school, everything went so smoothly that we even couldn't imagine how it will go. And what is important for us that both of our kids, and I'm talking about Johanna now, can bring their dreams into real life. Now she is accepted to 5 top universities in US. Her favorite in the beginning was University of California, Santa Cruz, because she was impressed by this Monterey Bay restoration, coastline, and so on. But finally, she took decision for University of Hawaii Manoa on Oahu in Honolulu, because they have a great marine bio program, so she will stay there. And I couldn't imagine that without being on HPA and all the care, all the help during the test and writing of essay and so on, she could achieve what was her childhood dream. So thank you HPA for this. I must say that this was the best investment we did ever. So yeah, I can omit investment to other things, but to our children was the best decision. We are so happy. Now we consider even to move there. So we are working on this. So this is how we are excited by the place where our children are. So
yeah,
that's it.
So oh,
Thank
that's
you.
amazing. Well, that's what happens, when you go and visit Hawaii. You love it so much. Now parents want to move there. They want to come and be part of HPA.
Yes.
You're going to be always part of our Ohana. So thank you so much for your testimonial and everything. It makes me very excited, and congratulations for the acceptance of Johanna in Hawaii. So now we're going to move forward and introduce Patricia Menner. She's from Germany, and she has right now currently her son at HPA, Patrick, and also her daughter came to HPA a few years ago, Carolina. And now, Patricia, tell us a little bit about your experience.
I asked Patrick this week, I said, tell me your favorite things about HPA really quickly. And the first thing he said was the community, the friends he's made, all the different things he can do with them, the weekend trips he can take with them, with the school bus, going to the beach, hiking. He is having such a wonderful time. He said, Mom, I feel like I'm really growing also as a person. And I was just like, wow. I was very, very impressed. A second thing he said was how much he loves the teachers. He said, it's nothing like in Germany. In Germany, it's just like you go to class, you leave. If you don't understand, it's your tough luck. And he said in Hawaii, HPA, he can actually go before classes. He can see them. There's just so much contact that they really care about you. And I just thought that is such a gift. That is amazing. And I was so happy for him to have that experience. As a parent, obviously, it was very different as Carolina was at HPA, because we actually we went to take her and we had a beautiful vacation and got all her things for her. But this time with Corona, he ended up going by himself, and I was like, how is this going to work out? But he went with a group of kids who were going to HPA anyway. And it was perfect. They all traveled together. They got there together. Yeah, it was super. It was no problem at all. And any questions I had, I was able to ask Maria or Tiari. So, I mean, we felt so good about it. And yeah, it's been just a great thing. And for Carolina, of course, she loved it. She did slightly other different things. She did scuba. She did the turtle tagging. Yeah, it was definitely dream come true for both of them and for us as parents.
Thank you so much, Patricia. I'm so happy to hear that. And I'm happy to hear that Patrick is doing so well and everything. I saw one of his videos the other day that they interviewed him, and he was so excited about all the hikes that he has done and going to the beach and everything. So that's awesome. Well, now we're going to move forward with our alumni. We want to hear from them, from the students, and hear their experience. We're going to start with Marta. Marta is a student from Madrid, Spain, actually where I'm located right now. And she's now currently in university in the US, in San Francisco. So Marta, tell us a little bit about you, your experience, when did you come to HPA and everything?
Hey everyone, good morning or good afternoon, depending where you're in right now. As Maria said, my name is Marta. I graduated in 2019, so I actually graduated with rana. And when I think of things to say about HPA, I have so many things I want to say, so I hope I get the most in here. But where should I start? Okay, so I remember I wanted to change from Spain because education there is very, like what Patricia just explained, very strict. Teachers don't really give you that, bond with the students. And I had these options. And I remember they told me about Hawaii. And I was like telling my dad, please, please, please let me go there. And when we had the interview with Tiare, my dad was like, he was sold. He was like, you know what? We're not going to waste any more time. We're going to go to Hawaii. And they were nervous. It's very far away from Spain. And I was on the plane. I was bawling my eyes out. I was so scared. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. And the moment I landed in Hawaii, they lost my suitcase. It was a mess. The moment I got into the bus and I saw these students from HPA, they all gave me a big smile. They asked me what was going on, who I was. And I was like, I am so happy to be here. Everything that had happened in the past few hours, I forgot within the next minutes. It was insane. I couldn't believe I was part of such a big thing. And in just like days, I had so many friends. People went out of their way just to make me feel comfortable. I changed to HPA in January, so in the middle of the year. I didn't have a regular orientation like everyone else. It didn't matter. I still met people. Everyone was so welcoming. I would not change my experience for anything. I went there with the intention of doing turtle tagging, realized I hated science. And that's the thing. I was able to explore what I loved and what I wanted to do without having any idea of what it was. So I fell in love with the arts. Now I'm in university doing a design major, which I think it's amazing. And I just made friends from countries I didn't even know that they existed, which bad on my part, but amazing in the end. I went in there as a person who I thought I was, and I came out as an entirely new version of myself. I'm still friends with everyone I met on there. One of my friends actually from Hawaii, she's in San Francisco. We meet up all the time. You made lifelong, lasting friendships. I still can't believe I was part of that. I recommend everyone joining. And if I have one regret, is not joining earlier, because I transferred there my junior year. I wish I had been there my freshman year, like all these people, because I missed out on so much. I just hope you guys enjoy it as much as I do. And Ilan is going to tell his story. Rana is going to tell her story. Everyone has different experiences. I think that's what's beautiful, that no one's life at HPA looks the same, but you still will come out with a family, with a strong bond that you will not exchange for anything else. So yeah, congratulations on getting into HPA.
Thank you so much, Marta. I love hearing your experience and everything. This is so excited. Thank you. Now we're gonna hear now from Rana, that graduated from HPA as well. And she right now is visiting some friends in Poland, but she's originally from the UK and from Saint-Tropez. So Rana, tell us about your experience.
Hi, so I'm Rana, class of 2019 with Marta. I don't even have words to explain my experience at HPA. It was the best experience I had ever had and probably will ever have of my life. Like, I'm so happy that I went there, and there's so many different opportunities that you can go. I actually went there to go turtle tagging as well, but didn't end up doing it. But I explored other things, and yeah, there's just so much you can do. I managed to do that, like for one of my classes, I was able to do a TEDx youth talk, which is not something that you come across being able to do at other schools. Also, like the bonds with teachers, that as dorm parents as well, you create such a bond with them that you can really go to them for whatever you need. And I was rarely ever homesick in the dorms because I had so many close friends around me that it just felt like family. I spent a lot of my weekends hanging out with day students, so I almost lived as, I wasn't like a full boarder. I spent my weekends living as if a normal family would live, and I'm still so close with all of the families and all of my friends, and I can't wait to go back and see them whenever I'm able to. I went to, no, sorry. I did cheer for 3 years. I went there my sophomore year, so I missed out freshman year. And like Marta, I wish that I was there my freshman year as well. But I ended up doing cheer, and that was really fun. And there's so many different sports you can do. I would never have had the opportunity to do cheerleading or anything that I was able to do if I stayed in the UK, because it's not that common. And yeah, there's so many things that I could literally talk for hours on end about, all the good things that the school gave me. But I went in, like Marta said, like I went in somebody and I came out a better version of myself. I grew so much during those 3 years, and I wouldn't change it for the world, honestly. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's so inspiring. It's funny because I always tell students exactly what you guys were mentioning. You know, you sometimes you go with them the idea of doing something in particular, turtle tagging, but then you find your passion through other opportunities that we offer at HPA. And I think high school is the best time to explore that and kind of find what is your passion and what you want to do. And we offer all those opportunities here at HPA. So now let's hear from our last panelist, Ilan, which I met him 2 years ago at HPA when he came back to visit for summer, which was so cool. Ilan is from Miami, but also from Argentina. He's a mix. And he's currently studying in University of Chicago. So Ilan, tell us a little bit about you and your experience.
Yeah, sure. So I graduated in 2018, which doesn't feel like it's been that long, but it has been a while. And I think that it's just, you guys have been listening to, Rana and Marta and the parents speak. And I know it sounds like a sales pitch, but like it's coming from the bottom of our hearts. Like the love we have for HPA is real for so many different reasons. And yeah, I think my experience, you've heard a lot about community and like, what it means to each of us and how a lot of people have opened their doors for us and have invited us to do different things. And I think that the mentality when you get to HPA, you don't really have an option to say no, like people throw out all of these different options and varieties of activities for you to do. And you kind of have to like choose one that you find the most interesting. And usually kind of through that like forced luck, you get put into something that you try and you end up loving. And sometimes, you always have the opportunity to switch into different things and you end up finding that one thing that you love. My experience at HPA has had ups and downs like everybody's experiences, but at the end of the day, similar to Rana, I had a big friend group that was of day students, and they really welcomed me into their homes. I spent, definitely almost every weekend at my best friend's house. I had, clothes in his closet. He had 2 older sisters and I have 2 older sisters. So it felt like home when I went to stay over there with them. And then, you know, during the week when I was in the dorms, you come back and all of your friends that are also boarders come back from their friends' homes on the weekends. And you just, you know, Sunday nights, you know, everybody comes back and it's like, everybody tells you like these crazy stories of these hikes that they went on or going, you know, surfing at like 4 a.m. Was like, it became, you know, your daily schedule. Like this, it seemed like it was a lifelong vacation for the 3 years that I was there. And again, similar to Marta and Rana, I got there my sophomore year, and I would have hoped that I could have gotten there my freshman year. And for all of you guys that are, you know, on the fence about thinking about going right away, 14 years old is definitely very young, but you just got to jump over the fence because it's, you know, looking back on it, I didn't feel young when I got there because you're in a community that you feel like the scaffolding is there to make you like the perfect person. And like there's so many fail safes, you know, they have a bunch of teachers and house parents and coaches even that are like, you know, all they want to do is make you happy and, you know, give you like the perfect environment. So I can give you again a list of things, you know, the benefits of different parts of the community, the school, the athletics. But at the end of the day, the opportunity is there. There are many, many different things that you can do. And you just have to, you know, jump over that fence because there's going to be a lot of them. And there's going to be some things that you might not be too sure about. But as soon as you try it, you realize that you just want to try more things because nothing happens if you fail. You know, there's always going to be something else for you to do. And I think that's the biggest thing that I take away from HPA. I've tried, oh my God, I can't even tell you. I did every sport. I've done turtle tagging. I've tried, you know, taking different languages, different classes. And, you know, by senior year, luckily I was able to fit it in just 3 years. But by senior year, I figured out exactly what I wanted to do, exactly who I am. And I don't want it to sound like a sales pitch because it's the truth. It's really, really, you know, I'm like a final end product of HPA and I'm very happy about it.
Good. Thank you so much, Ilan, and thank you so much to all our panelists. Now we have here some of students and their parents, so we're gonna open the floor for questions. So please ask us any questions you have for the parents or the students. You can either unmute yourself and ask the question out loud, or if you want to write it on the chat, you can also do it. So let us know what questions you guys have. We're here to help you. Yeah, Grace, thank you. So we're gonna send you all the process. I see that you were asking about the tuition, actually the application. We'll continue with that. Anyone has like a particular question and everything, I'll send you, you know, all the information afterwards through email. No questions? You guys have no questions, guys? Okay, if we don't have any questions, I do have some particular questions that parents usually have, you know, in the background, and also for students, alumni. So if you want to share a little bit about how to, you know, you felt part of our Ohana and how do you integrate it with the Hawaiian culture? If one of our panelists want to share a little bit about that, why don't we start maybe with Ilan?
Yeah, sure. I mean, in terms of the culture, oh, I see a question came up, but
yeah,
in terms of the culture, I mean, it's like you're living in the United States because, you know, you're speaking in English and you're paying with dollars at the store. But in terms of the culture, it's not a generic, you know, American culture. It's like it's so rich in values and I guess in, you know, in song and in dance in general. Like Hawaiian culture is very, very rich in a lot of different ways. But I think at the end of the day, you get integrated in it by, you know, hearing about things and learning about things in the classroom. Senior year, for graduation, we have to perform a hula and you know, sing and and you learn about, all these values that you've been accumulating over the years. And I think at the end of the day, that's what you get integrated into. You get integrated into the values of the culture more than anything. I didn't come out of this speaking Native Hawaiian, and you can, if you want to, you can take Native Hawaiian as a class. But I think at the end of the day, the culture that you end up, you become part of the culture of Hawaii by going to HPA, because it's all around you.
That's awesome. Good, good. Is anyone from our panelists want to share something a little bit more about the Hawaiian culture and how it integrates at HPA?
If I can share experience from Luca, because Luca has this great advantage being there from freshman year. And in the first year on HPA, they have Hawaiian studies, and it's compulsory course for everyone. But he was absolutely trapped by the content. So he taught us about the history, where Hawaiians are coming from. Because for foreigners, Hawaii is like a paradise for vacation, but they have so rich history, and they are proud of the roots. And they try at international students, but not only international, but also from Americans from mainland, to introduce where they are coming from. And this helped a lot to understand what's going on, and understand society, and understand people who are local. This is beautiful.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. I do have to say, from my experience, I'm not Hawaiian, but I do go to Hawaii a lot, and for me, it's amazing. It's one of my favorite things. It's such a different place. And the land has something really special that it really, it's hard to describe until you go there and you have the experience. But the land in Hawaii has something really special that makes a whole different, and makes the whole HPA experience very different. I always tell our students, when they come to HPA, they're all part of our ohana. Ohana means family, for the people who doesn't know. And you really do feel part of that community, which it's amazing. We do have some questions here. We have a question particular for Marta, from one of our students that is asking Phoebe. She's asking that you mentioned that you joined during junior year. Did you feel behind other students who had joined earlier or not? So Marta.
Well, the easy answer is no, not academically, not socially. I always tell people that time at HPA goes differently. It's not like a regular day, because in 1 hour, you can do so much. And even though people had been there for 2 years, 1 year, even just at the start of the school term, I went there and it was like I had known them for years. They welcomed me into a family. They didn't know me, and they still made me feel a part of it. So if you join later onto your school life or earlier, it doesn't matter. You're going to make the same friends as if you had. I was part of it within hours. I knew everyone. Everyone was my family within hours of just getting there.
That's awesome. Good. We have another question from Andy that he's asking particular about the process of getting to the school right now with COVID. I'll tell you, Andy, actually about that, because any of them went through that. Well, actually, Patrick and Luca did go through the quarantine process, which parents can also talk a little bit about that. But if we do go again through the quarantine process in August, because things are still the same, because we don't know yet, things changed so quickly. We have a COVID team that makes everything a lot easier, and the transition is, we try to make it as smoothly as possible. So pretty much, everyone that come to the island right now, they do have to get tested before coming to the island with a negative test. As soon as they arrive to the school, we'll test everyone again, and they have to go through 72 hours of isolation, quarantine, while we get from the results back. And then after those 72 hours, after you get the results negative, we'll start the quarantine period for 2 weeks on the dorm. So we do everything on the dorm. Actually, the students are all together. They make a great bond You know, they actually have a lot of fun, and we have a lot of activities prepared for them. So it's not that everyone is going to be alone or anything like that. After those 72 hours, you know, everyone is together. And then, you know, once we're going to finalize the 2 weeks quarantine, we test the students again just to triple check everyone is safe, to be, you know, free and start face-to-face classes. But yeah, we had that process going in August, and we had the process again in during the winter in January when everyone came back. And you know, everything has been really good. I don't know if, you know, Patricia or Jarek and Jana want to share a little bit about their experience with their kids when they went through the quarantine process or everything.
Yeah, what you said, everything went very smoothly. And in my opinion, HPA should have this process patented, because it really worked. We were wondering how they will be able to manage everything, and if promise to have face-to-face classes is not the only promise, but the protocol itself. Putting people into cohorts and all the mixing stuff enables that even if there will be some case, you are not. The whole school will not be closed. You can just separate a part of them, put them in the isolation. They have a special house for these purposes. Yeah, it's a great management. I was talking with other parents having children around the world. And I've never seen such a good process. Yeah, it's very well done. Don't worry. Who will travel from Europe? You can travel with F1 visa directly. If you need it for parents, it's more difficult. You need to stay in some middle American countries for 2 weeks. This is what we are doing. But for children and people with visa F1, it's direct travel.
Exactly. Patricia, you want to share something as well?
I wouldn't mind adding, we feel so safe for him that he's there. Like right now, things are not so good in Germany as far as COVID is, but as far as Hawaii goes, that's because it's an island. The school is doing so well. They're really on top of everything of everything that has to do with COVID and checking and everything. And yeah, we just feel really good about it. So I just wanted to mention that.
Good. Thank you, Patricia. We have another question from Anya. She's wondering, what is the workload like outside the classroom? So what about the alumni? Can you talk a little bit about the workload? Anyone? Marta, Rana, Ilan?
I can talk about it. I think that the workload, I think that the work that you put in, like, kind of determines how much you have to do in a way. Like, obviously you get homework, but if you're a boarder and you're in the dorm, then you have time to do it. There's study hall, and it's very, like, you know, no phones, but you have enough time to get all your work done. But you know, people can just do the bare minimum, or they can go during lunchtime and go and study with a teacher and work and help whoever else needs help in the class. And so I think it just depends on how hard you are willing to work, and that will depend on how much you have to do.
Good. Thank you, Rana. Ilan and Marta, you want to add something?
Yeah, I mean, I could add on really quickly and just say that, like, Rana kind of hit it right on the head. The only thing I would add is that, you know, it's as hard as you want it to be. You know, I think, and I'll tie it into the questions about college applications. In terms of school, you know, like, you choose your classes with the registrar who kind of helps you create a schedule tailored for you, and kind of how you want to develop through HPA and what classes you need to get to the type of university that you want to go to. And so the process, although you aren't starting with the college counselors, you know, right the second you get to to HPA, the process starts your freshman year, because you have a certain schedule that you tailor specifically to you. And when you get to junior year, you have already a kind of a foundation that you can start preparing for junior and senior year to have a great college application. one of the things that people don't really realize about, HPA and the gem that it is that when you apply to colleges from HPA and from Hawaii, you're not being compared to other students around the country, you're being compared to students around Hawaii. And so being at HPA, there's so many opportunities, like we've all mentioned, that if you want to write your college essay about going turtle tagging or about independent science research projects that you do throughout your time at HPA, that differentiates you from other students around the island and around the state. And those are the key differences that universities look for. I think universities today are looking for a much different student than they were maybe 10 years ago. It's not all about the numbers, it's more about the individual and how they've developed over the 4 years and what's the potential for them to develop. And so they've seen that if you've developed from 14 to 18, the potential for you to develop from 18 to 22 at their university is much higher. And in terms of the process of applying, the admissions counselors are second to none. They would get all the paperwork, ready for you. They help you along the way. You can walk into their office any time of the day, junior or senior year, and get any help that you need. So in terms of applying to college, the only stress should be that, you focus on school, focus on what what you love, and that, you get your essays done when you have to. And that's not something that you should stress about, because you have all of junior year and all of senior year to get done. So the help that you get is definitely adequate, and there's a surplus of it. So that's not something that that I felt that I needed to worry about. And I'm sure Rana and Marta can add on to that.
Yeah. Marta, you want to add something related with as well workload, and also now we're answering some of the questions regarding university and how prepared you were about that. You want to add something?
Yeah, like Ilan just said, you get to make your own schedule and they guide you through that. As a person from Europe, I've never had that freedom in my life. So I was very overwhelmed by having so many options, but they helped you through the entire process. I could have as many classes as I wanted. Well, not as many, of course, but I can choose. I have some freedom in that, which I think is really good. And you choose your classes depending on what you can take. So you know yourself better than anyone else. If you want to take APs, honors classes, you're welcome to. They helped you, and teachers are accommodating. So if you see you're stressed, you're overwhelmed, you can talk to them. You have that confidence and that trust and that bond with them to be able to make sure that they are making the class like to their students. It's not a cookie cutter solution. Every student is different and they make sure to accommodate for that. And in relation to college, I had no idea how to apply to college. No clue. So confused. Again, super overwhelmed when I first got to junior year. I got half of it. So I was so lucky that college counselors always welcomed me. You could ask them any questions. They had workshops, so you could go in with other students, work on it together. And by the time you realize, the work is done. They help you through the entire process. They guide you through it. And when you realize, you're already accepted into college, ready to go. So there's really not that many things to worry about.
Good. Thank you so much. Do you want to add anything else about college, Rana, or not? Are we good? Okay, perfect. So we had another question from Kara about being vaccinated before coming to HPA regarding COVID. You don't have to be vaccinated unless things change. It's a mandatory rule by the government, but we don't force anyone to get vaccinated or anything like that. So if anyone else have any questions, anything else you want to ask, one last question, anyone? You can also unmute yourself and ask a question as well.
I think there was a question about vaccination, but I don't have the answer to that.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. Don't worry about a vaccination. You don't need to get vaccinated before coming. Okay, so I don't see more questions. I'm gonna share my screen really quickly again. So just giving you the last points. Let's see if I can do this. You can see it quickly. Awesome, perfect. So hopefully you're able to see my screen right now. So I wanna tell you mahalo. It's thank you in Hawaiian. So you're gonna be learning a little bit some words in Hawaiian. Make sure you visit our virtual admission center. You can participate in more events. We have more Discover HPA events that are going to be different to this one. So I do encourage you to sign up. We have the next one on Tuesday next week. It's in another time zone. So just make sure you can participate. Make sure you follow us as well on Instagram. We have an admissions Instagram account. It's Hawaii Prep Admissions, and we're always posting about what is happening, news and everything. And then if you have any questions, please reach out to us. We're here to help you. You can reach out to your admissions counselor, or you can reach out to me. I'll be happy to help you. You can WhatsApp me, call me, email me. I'm always here. Parents can tell you, I always try to answer to everyone, and feel comfortable to ask any questions you have. Okay. And thank you so much for coming. Here's a flower lei for you from our director of admissions. A flower lei is very special in our culture. We give it in terms of gratitude or special moments. And I really hope I can give it to you in person in Hawaii when we welcome you to our school. And thank you so much for coming. And as well, welcome to HPA. Thank you all. Bye, everyone.